A few people have asked me to do this video. There are a pocket of people who are really interested in how I started my YouTube channel, my coaching business, so I'm just going to talk to you and anyone who is interested in this about what it was like for me starting this channel and this business and how I went about it. So I've always loved talking to people. I've always loved helping people and inspiring people, and it's always something that I gravitated towards. And a while ago, a few years ago, me and Johnny had just got together, and I really needed to find a way that I could work online. I'd been working for a university, and that contract had come to an end, and then I was working as a teacher in a school in Italy, as many of you know, and I hated working in a school teaching. I really didn't enjoy teaching English. It just didn't work for me. In fact, you know what? Working for anyone was always hard. It's always been really hard for me to work for anyone else. I just don't think that my personality as a very sensitive person is really cut out for it. I can do it, and I've had to do it, and I'm very good at getting jobs. I'm really good at interviews. I'm really good at writing applications. I've never had a problem with manifesting getting a job. I've always just had, that's my belief, that I know that I'll get a job eventually. There's also been struggles, like where I've actually had times where I'm like, okay, I need a new job soon, urgently, as soon as possible. And it's felt, that uncertain period of when's the job going to come, when's it going to happen? And that was going on for years and years. And I did have a really good period of time where I was working as a social media specialist for a really good company that sent me all around the world. They relocated me to Australia for 2 years, and when I was in Australia, I was flying like really every month to a number of different places in Australia. So I basically got a free tour of Australia, and accommodation all paid for and everything. And so that was a really good gig, but my heart wasn't in it. And I used to sit at the 24th floor of the building looking out and thinking, what's another Karina doing somewhere? What's she doing? And my brother would say, like, there's another Karina somewhere, like helping people, inspiring people, doing music, working with young people, and I just feel like I was just misaligned working anywhere that wasn't, for me, basically, that I'd created. There were times where I really loved working for other people, I suppose, like when I was being creative, and I loved the social element of working in an office. I loved that. That was something that's still something now that I really, really miss. I really miss working alongside other people, and it's something that I want to create in my own business down the line. But I loved having an office, and I loved going into work. And the thing was, though, that's why I went to work. I never went to work to do work. I never went to work to get stuff done. I went because I actually loved just speaking to people, and I was that person that if you talked to me, it was a real hazard, because I would be talking then for ages until someone told me to stop. So I was never really cut out for doing something that I wasn't passionate about. That was just the way it was. And so, I needed to find a job that was online. Me and Johnny had got together, and I was thinking, well, it's going to be difficult if we're both not working online. If we've got to be in one place, then how's this going to work? So I was really trying to manifest an online job. So I did manifest an online job, right? I manifested working as a social media specialist for a university, but I hated it. As usual, it just didn't work. I felt the pressure, expectations, and there was just a misalignment of just the way I did things and the way they wanted to do things. And I just felt like it doesn't work for my personality to be in that situation. I was more stressed. So anyway, I started posting videos while I was in Italy. So I started just thinking, I've been watching loads of these videos. I'm pretty sure I could post a video, And actually, it started even before that, because I made a private Instagram account where I was just playing with ideas, like playing with, you know, posts and different templates and different branding styles and stuff that I used with Canva. So if you know about the app called Canva, it's a really good app for creating social media posts basically. And I was just playing with templates and stuff and posting stuff on there privately, but I quite enjoyed it, so I made it public. And then I thought I might as well post a video, make a YouTube channel and see if anybody, you know, wants to follow me. And so yeah, I made a couple of videos. I'm pretty sure like 10 people saw them in the whole world, and you know, nothing was really happening. Maybe even less than 10 people saw it. And but I felt good doing it. I kind of enjoyed it and I was motivated to do it. I remember doing it sitting on my front doorstep in Italy and waiting for people to walk past so that I could be uninterrupted. I just literally edit them on iMovie on my phone. There's no fancy equipment involved in what I do. I literally have my phone, iMovie, edit stuff on my phone. It's very, very simple to use iMovie. And I can do everything from my phone, basically. Apart from, you know, I can even do my Zoom calls from my phone as well, but I often do them from the laptop. But anyway, so I posted this with no intention of like, I need to make a business, I need it to happen, because I actually already had that other job as a social media specialist, so there was less pressure on it working. But I posted a video, and then what happened was I did an interview with Agnes Vivarelli, who you might know. She is my friend, and she is someone who helped me and coached me years ago. And, you know, she did an interview with me on her channel, and that led people to my channel. And so it led quite a lot of people to my channel initially. And I was like, whoa, what's happening? People suddenly want to talk to me. People like literally want to talk to me. And so I decided to make it a thing, make it a business. But it wasn't, I still wasn't thinking, oh, this is a real thing that's really going to take off. I was still thinking, well, let's see how this goes for now. But it just kept coming. That, you know, the requests to speak to me just kept on coming. And I believe that the reason why is because I was very vulnerable and authentic, and I just told my story. You know, that's a thing that I see a lot of people having a bit of a block with, the vulnerability bit. And I think that that's the most powerful bit. You know, your struggle ends up being your superpower, and that's always been the case for me. So I kept getting these requests, and I decided to say, you know, because I'd done a coaching qualification years ago in Australia, and I'd not really used it because I just didn't go down that road at the time. But I had that qualification. I thought, well, I could do some coaching, and I started doing it because I was getting all these requests. And yeah, and then I just gained more and more experience over time. Very quickly, I had a lot of experience with talking to people and using some of the techniques that I learned years ago, but then really finding my own way, finding my own approach to coaching and learning. I'm always learning, reading books, going to webinars and things, and learning about how to be the best coach that I can be. So I was doing that, but again, I still wasn't thinking that it would really take off, but it was taking off, even though I wasn't thinking it was taking off. You know, I suddenly had matched my income, you know, with the job that I was doing as a social media specialist. I was thinking, oh, this is funny. I've earned the same amount of money as I have in my job. So do I need my job anymore? And I started thinking like this. This was about 2 or 3 months in, so it happened so fast. And then what happened was I just had this feeling, I think they're going to tell me they don't need me at my job anymore. And that day, my boss said, I just think we don't need you anymore. And I was like, oh, that's good, because I don't really want to work here anymore. I was like, oh, good, we're on the same page about that. And it just, you know, it was a complete misalignment for me and them, me working there. And luckily, that month I'd earned $4,000. So I was like, well, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I was living at the time in Croatia with Johnny, and things just kind of were going really well with the business. So it just happened very organically, and suddenly I thought, oh my God, I've made a business, I've made an online business, and it's replaced my income and doubled it. It's doubled my income really quickly. So that happened very seamlessly. I guess I had the belief in myself and confidence in myself that I was good at talking to people, and I wanted to share that, you know. So in the past, I tried to start businesses. I had another business called Tailor-Made Social, which was a social media marketing business where I would basically train people who didn't know how to use social media to teach them how to use it for their businesses, and I do these workshops in person, and that didn't work. It just didn't work, and I closed the business quite soon. Really, I realised that I didn't want to do it, and it was swimming upstream. And a lot of my family were like, "Why are you doing it? It's so good, you know, you're really good at this." But my heart wasn't in it. I was not in it. I just didn't want to do it. And the difference with doing this business was that it just happened very effortlessly. You know, it just happened without me thinking or trying too hard. And I think, you know, I did try hard, but the thing was, it didn't feel like I was working really hard because I was really enjoying it, you know, and I felt like that's what made it work in the beginning. And also just, you know, being so grateful for the freedom that it's given me, and just continually reminding myself that I have that freedom. So it hasn't always been like that, you know. Like about a year in, I think I had a massive crash because I hadn't really managed my time properly. I knew nothing about starting a business. I knew nothing about the sort of logistics of doing it and planning and preparing and things. I was really, really winging it. No one had ever taught me how to run a business, so I was absolutely making it up as I went along. I made my website myself, which is why it's okay, but it could be better. And I did that on Squarespace, which is a website platform that you can make your own website on. And it felt like it took me about 2 weeks to make the website, I think, and I did it as and when I felt like it. I'm still editing it now, really, and yeah, so I did that myself, just kind of intuitively, a bit like how we learn how to use Facebook or whatever. I learned how to use Squarespace. And it's very frustrating because sometimes you think, I don't know how to do this thing that I want to do. It should be easier than this. It should be easier, but it's not. And so that happened quite a bit when I was setting up my business. A lot of boring stuff like setting up my tax, setting up my business as a business with HMRC and things like that I actually think people need proper training on, because it's something that you're supposedly supposed to just know. And there is information on the website, on the HMRC website, and there's information places, but I feel like there should be a proper course for anyone who ever starts a business, because it is a bit complicated and there's lots to learn, basically, and there's lots of mistakes that you can make, which I made a lot of mistakes. So I just went along. I just did the videos, I posted videos, I was enjoying it, I had the time to do it, and you know, I was getting positive feedback, and I had intended, I have a positive audience, I have a positive loving audience, right? Because there's no point intending that you have an audience of like however many subscribers that you want, but they're not, you know, positive and loving. So I intended that I have a positive, loving audience, and that has been my experience so far for the most part. And you know, I do still occasionally get negative comments and people saying, well, you haven't thought about this, or what, or Neville Goddard says this, or whatever. And you know, like, it is what it is. You can't please everybody, so I sort of take that with a pinch of salt, really. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of Corrie tea, basically. So that's always been sort of fair enough. I can deal with that. But yeah, and then what else is important about starting business? I think I had just an intention that it would work, but there has been challenges in that I feel like I've been growing, and literally I feel like I've outgrown a lot of the messaging that I had at the beginning. And I've evolved and I've learned so much, so my message is changing, and the audience is sort of like, you know, where I was rather than where I am sometimes. And I feel like there's a bit of imposter syndrome occasionally, although I don't really look at other coaches and compare myself to them, because everybody's where they are and I'm just where I am. And I try not to do that. I don't compare numbers. I don't really look at numbers that much. Because, you know, I've only got like 1,400 and something subscribers on Instagram. But yet I have quite a successful business that keeps me alive, you know, and it keeps everything going. So I don't look at numbers as like a measure of how well my business is doing, because I can do really well. And I did really, really well when my channel was only just beginning, you know, and I think I've had extremely profitable months whenever I've had less followers than I have now. So like it's not really a numbers thing. So I try not to look at the numbers too much and compare myself to other people, because there's no point doing that. But I know that people have a lot of questions about this and would really like to create a business like this, and you can do it. You really do just have to have that belief in yourself and enjoy it. You know, if you enjoy it, just do it. Just post stuff online. Just trust that your people will find you. You know, you guys have found me because you resonate with my message, whereas other people might find other people that you resonate with their message, or whatever. Like, the people who found me were supposed to find me, you know, and the people who find you are supposed to find you. So you just trust that your audience will find you. I think the thing is with YouTube is that once you start posting on a particular topic, you do really get caught in an algorithm. So what I found as a challenge is that I want to talk about other things, really. I would like to talk about, you know, other sides of my personality and other things. And, you know, to keep this channel really alive, I do have to keep talking about specific person stuff on this particular channel. It's not to say that I couldn't create another channel to talk about another topic, but it's like YouTube kind of does categorize you, and I've watched other YouTubers talk about this and it being a bit of a struggle because you'd like to branch out your conversation or even reach a different audience, but YouTube does make this slightly more difficult for that reason. So I think it's important to sort of really know what you would like to talk about in the long run, you know, what you would like to have as your credibility. And so that's something I've struggled with quite a bit, you know, because I'd like to sort of expand my message, not just to specific person stuff, but to relationship stuff and to really self-love as being one of my main messages, rather than how to get your specific person back, you know. I would like that to be the thing rather than how to get your specific person back, you know. So, but at the same time, I think I've found an audience who have a similar experience to what I've had, and that means that I can really deeply empathise with people who are on that journey, and I can share my learnings through what I've been through. So it works as well. So I've had to sort of like, there was a phase where I really resented talking about specific person stuff because I felt like I'd outgrown it, but then I sort of reframed it in my mind because I thought, no, actually I can use this as a way to help people who are on this journey to help find yourself, to love yourself, like it was for me, like the specific person stuff has been a catalyst for self-love and growth and change and so much awareness and healing. So, you know, I had to reframe it in my mind because I'd outgrown the how to get a text and how to get a USP back and in all of that stuff, which at the same time I deeply understand, you know. So yeah, I think as I grow, the business grows. As I change, my audience seem to, you know, lots of people seem to be. What I've noticed is that as I'm growing, my audience is also growing. Like, you're growing with me. It's really interesting, and I do feel like who I am being attracts more people like where I'm at as well. At the same time, there's a bit of a time delay and a bit of a backlog with that, but that's just part of it. So yeah, that's it. This is quite a long video, but it hopefully will give you a bit of an idea about how this all happened and came to be. I would like to keep growing this business. I want to keep growing my audience and keep growing the conversation, keep evolving, keep sharing my experience, keep learning, and being more and more authentic with you, and yeah, hopefully inspiring lots of people. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So we will see what happens and what what it becomes. But I'm really grateful for everybody who's been with me on this journey and who's watched my videos and who's shared things and who's bought one of my sessions or packages or courses or whatever. It's literally really has been life-changing. So thank you very much, and I hope this has been useful. Let me know if you'd like to know any more about this. If you've got any questions, you can ask me by emailing me, send me a direct message, and if not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.